Good evening, street soldiers. Good evening. You are back for another Sunday with Live and Free Street Soldiers Radio. Thank you for tuning in. You know, we did a good stuff here. We're trying to stop the violence everywhere. Playing a little music, saving a lot of lives. Got a wonderful show for you again. Again, I always said it because we always got wonderful shows. We always got wonderful shows, but this is indeed a wonderful show. Lady E, what's up with you? How you doing? Got to say hi to you. Say hi to Ann. Say hi to Fillmore. I think the soul is
Hey, hey.
the weather, so I don't know if you can make it, but no, he's feeling good. Lady E, how are you?
I am good. I am so busy.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I need a vacation from the vacation. This has not been a vacation.
No, this ain't a
I just need to say it's not been a vacation. And, I'm just so busy. I don't think they work the slaves like I've been working. I'm about to
Oh,
fall
Lord,
out of
now
my
come
chair.
on now. Come on
Okay.
now. That's a heavy comparison there, dear.
Hey,
That does mean it's bad though.
hey, you know, talk about the midnight hour.
Yeah.
Woo!
You burning the midnight. I know what you're doing. You burning the midnight oil just like you did when you was in college.
Baby.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I always like for things to be done in decency and order. Very well done. You know, and just detail complete, thorough, especially now. So yeah, it takes a little more time to get it where I want it. So yeah, I got a lot going on.
Well, it is appreciated. Definitely. I know what you're doing. And hey, thank you. Thank you so much for all the effort you put into it. Yeah. All right. The soul, like I say, is a little bit under the weather, and you're doing good. We're gonna get straight to the news. We got a bunch of it.
Yes, let's
Ready?
say thank you to the San Francisco 49ers
Yeah,
who
yeah,
invited us
Thank
to
you.
their
Yes, sir.
training camp session. And then after we watched them hustle like on the
Gotta
field,
thank you. Gotta thank you.
they came over and they signed
Yeah.
everybody's stuff. It was so cool. They were so nice. And if you want to see behind the scenes action of Alive and Free at the 49ers training camp, you can go ahead and check us out on our Instagram at Alive and Free RX.
It was very nice. Very nice to invite us and several other groups down to the training camp. And it was hot.
It was hot. It was hot.
Filmo, it was like 90 plus degrees. I don't see how they be doing in that, man, in that heat, man, doing them drills and pen and it was nice. And I gotta say the nicest thing, and I was surprised, I really was. After practice, they all came over to the fence where we were and signed autographs and took my hat. Had a 49 hat on, and took it and got Nick Bosa to sign my hat. And I put my hat back on. And she took it and got Fred Warner to sign my hat. So if you see some scribbles on my it's Bosa and Fred Warner. And Bosa stayed a long time. He took pictures. And I mean, he was cool. He was really cool. They're all good. It was nice.
Good
Just
people,
milking.
you know?
Huh?
Just milking, huh?
Yeah. Oh, it was nice.
I know.
It was nice.
You're not a Niner fan like that, right?
Come on, man. Yes. Yes.
Thought you was an LA Ram or something.
But come on now. Stop. Don't be spreading no unnecessary rumors, okay?
That's bogus. You could have gave that to somebody.
I ain't giving my hat away.
Uh-huh.
And if I get a ticket, I ain't giving my tickets away.
Uh-huh.
Unless I get a bunch. And then, no,
It was
really
good.
nice.
It was such a good.
It was we had a nice turnout.
Go Niners.
All right, we got some news, and let's start with some good stuff. Okay, that's some good stuff. Let's get to the Olympics. You watching Olympics, Khalid?
Yes.
You watching Olympics? Okay. Olympics. Got to start with Team USA basketball. Did you see the game? You saw the game?
I didn't see the game. I did not see the game.
They blitzed Serbia by 26.
Okay.
And the star of the game was
KD.
Kevin Durant.
Wow.
Kevin Durant walked off the injured list and he had 5 3-pointers, hit 8 straight shots, got 23 points. The boy was insane, man. I ain't never said. Did you? Was he insane?
Yeah.
He is insane. Insane.
KD.
Yeah, he was KD.
Yeah.
He was what they needed. And Brown had a near triple double. Booker was good. The guard play is wonderful. Drew Holiday, just all over
Yeah.
people. Derek White, it was nice. It was nice. They move on to play South Sudan. Yes. They ain't gonna take them lightly this time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Sudan,
was-
they can't. Them brothers.
They
What
were-
did he say? I gotta tell you what he said. He said it looked like a whole team of Pascal Siakams. That was a good description.
Hey,
So
they was serious.
South Sudan won their first ever. If they beat Puerto Rico, so now they're gonna face the USA team. Man, it is a lot. It's a lot of fun. Simone Biles had a brief scare. You saw that?
No?
She hurt her
No.
ankle,
Oh,
but she
man.
qualified for every event except the uneven bars. At the last second, somebody had dropped the defending champ, but she was brilliant, man. She taped up her ankle. You put a little tape and spit on it. You put the little
I don't know
tape
about
on
no
it.
spit.
Well, that's how we used to. Just get back in the game, right? And she went and did her thing. It was wonderful to see her swimming the whole bit. The Olympics is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It is fun.
A lot of fun. All right, we go from
What's
the
your favorite event to watch?
oh well, I love hoop,
Mm.
so I'm gonna put that in a special place just because it's team yesterday. But it's track and
Oh,
field.
that, yeah.
It's track and field.
Track and-
Track and field.
Yeah.
Can't wait for track. Can't wait for track.
They usually probably get the most views. Track and field.
Love
Yeah.
track and field. Yeah, man. Like I said, I have so much admiration. What I say last week, other than boxers,
Right.
don't nobody work as hard to train,
Right.
right? You trained 4 years for that one moment. I
Wow.
love it. I love it. I love it. All right, we go to a story that's not pretty. Keep your eye on law enforcement. Always. You heard the story of Sonia Massey. Sonia Massey.
Mm.
She died by homicide with a gunshot to the head, apparently. If I got this straight right. Maybe I didn't. Oh, I know. I didn't print it out. But a deputy, a deputy gunned her down in her home. And apparently this is one of those guys who had been discharged from the Army for serious misconduct
Mhm.
and had a history of driving under influence. And he had worked with departments before.
6.
Was it six?
Six.
I knew it
And
was
he was
six.
back?
5, 6.
Yeah. Yes.
4 years.
Yeah. So, I mean, he had been, I don't know if he was discharged from the departments. Apparently the Army was sort of tainted around his discharge, but
Mhm.
he just found another job. And reading what happened, it was crazy. She apparently had hot water or something. Look, the thing, lady, it always gets me about these shootings that these are unarmed people. It's not, she didn't have a firearm.
No.
She had I think she had put the pot down. Anyway, it was crazy, which is why we always got to keep our eye on law enforcement. You got to just keep on working hard. So Ben Crump is there. You know who Ben Crump is?
Yeah.
That is the East Coast John Burris. So he'll be all over it.
They
Yeah.
said
Horrible.
it was 2 things. Her last words before he shot her was, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus Christ."
Mm, yeah.
And then he shot her.
Yeah.
Then
That after he threatened her,
Right.
after he said, "I will shoot you in your effing face." Okay.
Yeah.
Then the lawyer says, Ben says that they are the union is doing a grievance,
Oh,
saying
yeah.
that he was wrongfully.
Wow.
Terminated because they hit fire immediately.
Well, that's
Yeah. Well,
cool.
but don't worry, Ben's all over that. But this stuff shouldn't happen. And it's a reminder, always a reminder that you got to keep your eye on law enforcement everywhere. It's horrible. It's horrible. It's horrible. Okay, let's get Kamala Harris is rolling. She raised $200 million in her first week.
Yes.
Right? The excitement is back. And as we will be doing shows, Street Soldiers on the race. Probably after the Democratic convention, and we'll invite you on, we'll talk about it, and we'll see what happens. And of course, everybody knows my position. I'm ABT,
What's ADP?
anybody but Trump.
Yeah. Right.
Everybody know that. It was like
Right.
that in 2020. It was like that in 2016.
Yeah.
And I keep saying my 2-year-old grandson, but that might be an insult to my 2-year-old grandson.
Wow.
So yeah. All right. There's anything else, and I'm not gonna talk about Israel and because that just it's back and forth. It is horrible. All right, lady, you got anything? We're gonna jump into the show.
No, I don't. I just want to wish Malcolm get well soon, baby. Get well.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself.
All right, we're gonna do tonight one of my favorite shows. Seriously, film mode is one of my favorites, called Getting Out and Staying Out. Getting Out and Staying Out. I love doing this show because a lot of people go to the joint, they do their time, they get out, and they go back. And they go back. I think they call it recidivism, man. They call it recidivism. I've heard crazy numbers. Sometimes I hear 66%. Sometimes I hear as high as 3/4, 75%. So I always admire, and I sincerely mean this, those men and women, who get locked up and get out and what I call figure it out, and give them their number back. Right. I like to say, I really do admire that because I know the obstacles that you face when you got out, the conditions of parole, and I know that prison is not set up to rehabilitate, it's set up to punish. It's set up to punish you, right? And so if anybody that gets out of those places, my boy Jack White calls them the slave quarters, gets out of those places and is able to stay out against all odds, and we will go through those odds. I have such admiration for, and everybody knows my son is named after my hero, Malcolm X, who, went through the fire, came out on the other side, and became the great Malcolm X. So I want to salute those folks who did that. Because a lot of people just can't, they just don't, right? And so I'm going to do something I'm going to dedicate the show to this brother named Malik Wade. Malik Wade. This is this book, everybody. One of the great books. This is a gentleman that we know. He's been on the show. He's been, Lady E knows him well. He wrote a book called Pressure from FBI Fugitive to Freedom. FBI Fugitive to Freedom. And it's a great book. It's a story of his. I call it redemption. His redemption. And so I'm going to give this book to anyone that calls in. That's right. Anybody that calls in and says that they were able to get out and stay out, and how you were able to do it, because you did it. And so I want to thank you. And then I want to say, tell us your secret, how you're able to do it, because a lot of people aren't. So I'm going to throw the number out there right now, 877-955-1061, 877-955-1061. If you have been able to get out and stay out, I don't care if it's juvenile hall, I don't care if it's the county, I don't care if it's YA, which no longer exists. I don't care if it's state prison, I don't care if it's the feds. If you're able to say, kiss them gates goodbye and get back to living your life, I want to hear how you were able to do it. Now, helping with this in this first hour is this guy right next to me. Wonderful gentleman, Mr. Khalid Elahi. Known him a minute. And let me just say, he's helping me because he was able to get out and stay out. And there's a whole bunch of stories. We got great history. But Mike, just for you, I want you to know how he met me. He met me listening to this story when you were locked up in
prison.
San Quentin. Talk to the mic, brother. Talk to the mic. Talk to the mic, bro. Talk to the mic. And Mike, tell him what you said when you was listening to me on the radio. For real.
I said, this dude gonna get somebody killed, because he was feistier back then. So he was gung ho with it. Feistier. I put an ER on it. Feistier, and I'm listening to it, and I was just like, everything that was against what we grew up. The code, the rules. It just was weird. It was like I'm listening to him. I'm just laying looking at the top bunk, and I'm just like, this dude is really gonna get somebody killed. I said, I wish I could say something to him, because he was taking calls. I said, I'll let him have it. Because I was articulate. I wasn't one of them clowns. I was really had my own mind, and I believed in what I believed in. But I said, he's gonna definitely. And then he got people calling in halfway, got them rocking off of what they was believing. And I said, he gonna get him killed. He gonna get him killed. I was like counting them down. I was like, wow, this dude, he's the enemy of mine. That's how I looked at it. Because it didn't make no sense to a mind. I was literally like, man, we too far gone to be saved. That's how I felt. We in it.
And that's one of the reasons I want to do this show, because I know there are brothers and sisters behind bars who listen. Prime example, right? And so this is the message for them. Unless your life, and even if your life can change and you can do some good while you're in there. But if you're not, you're going to get out, and you do have the ability to get out and stay out.
Right.
And so listen, if you listen to the roadmap, okay? Listen to the roadmap, because you're going to hear from Khalid and others who have done it against all odds. Every time I hear that story, and I can imagine him sitting in, because I've been to Quentin, right? I've been there with the brothers and listen to this. This dude is crazy. He talking about don't do this, you don't do this, no, don't believe this, don't believe that, man. No, and I've been told that by people.
Hey, come listen to this. Come listen to this. Laughing, you know.
But we used to blast it in Juvenile Hall, both in 150th, right there out in San Leandro and over here in the city. And so let me begin by saying I have obviously a lot of love, and I'm gonna say admiration for you, because you have been able to get out and stay out. And Khalid, one of the things I know is that there are a lot of odds, but one of the ones I've always been interested, that just blows my mind, is I've seen when people leave, and it can be juvenile, right? Any level of the criminal justice system, the guards or the counselors will say to them, "Oh, I know you coming back. Not good luck. Not good luck. Or I'm gonna save your bunk for you, save your bed for you." Right. So it's like, you want it, you want to get parole, you want to get out of here, but you got to go out there. So, you tell some crazy stories about being in prison and how you felt when you first got there. So why don't we just start right there? By the way, 877-955-1061. If you have been able to get out and stay out, give us a call. Tell us how you've been able to do it. I want to congratulate you sincerely, and I got a book for you. I got the book Pressure by Malik Wade. What was that when you first got there? You was like, "Ooh, man, this ain't cool."
You get off the bus, because counties is bringing buses from different counties to San Quentin every day. So our bus pulled up, and I used to, I remember my family, we used to be driving past, and my father would always point over, "Hey, you go San Quentin, you don't want to go there." And I used to I never even thought I would go. So when I'm making that left turn into San Quentin, I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it. So you get in, you go through all the little bus, go through all the little checks it's going to go through. And from that, I started redeeming myself and started saying, I ain't never coming back, just from that. Just from them just from that experience. So they get the bus all through there. You walk up 4 or 5 steps. Once your left or your right foot touch inside that place, they stripping you butt naked. Okay. I didn't see Roots, and if you ever seen Roots, how they do the slaves on the block, that's how I felt. And I was just like I felt like I was a king on the streets. And now I felt like I was just like powerless, like one of the worstest individuals in the world.
Hold on, we got a call. We're gonna take these, come back to you. All right. You're on Street Soldiers, Dr. Marshall, Lady E, Khalid Elahi. Go right ahead. What's your name? You got a story of getting out and staying out? Tell it to me. You gone? All right, let's try it again. You got good look. Let's try 877-955-1061. We got another one. Give us a call. All right, here you go. Go right ahead. You are on. What's your name? Turn down your radio and get to talking. Okay. It's like a false start. Okay. In the Olympic races, you disqualified. I'm gonna get the number one more time, everybody. 877-955-1061. You can get in. Okay, Khalid. Can you pick it up? As soon as somebody else calls, we'll jump on into it.
Then you go up them 4 steps and you step inside that place, and that's where you being dehumanized off the top, or off the rip, however you want to say it. They got 2 or 3 cages to your left, with like 75 to about 75 men in each cage. They all staring at you, at your genitals, and staring at you and looking at you. The man tell you to strip. Well, we'll go back. What we got to call. We'll get to the point.
That's how we do it. All right, go right ahead. Turn your radio down and speak to us. You're on Street Soldiers. You got a story of getting out and staying out and how you were able to do it? Go right ahead. What's your name?
Hey, what's up, man? My name is Robert.
How you doing, Robert? Thank you for calling, man. What you got for us this evening?
So I paroled back in.
You got to turn your radio down. You're going to get feedback. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, I paroled in 2017 on Christmas Day, actually. And I've been out since Christmas Day of 2017. I'm now the general manager for an HVAC and installation company in San Jose.
Oh, wow, man. Wow. How long were you locked up?
About 7 years.
Okay. And the thing is, how were you able to do it? Because the odds are stacked against you. How were you able to go from, I mean, you had a lot. Yeah. Really, seriously, how were you able to do that? Get out and stay out?
So before I went in, I was already in HVAC in the trade as an apprentice back in like 2011, 12, and had a little bit of experience in the field. And, I got arrested, spent time in prison. And after I got out, I pursued the HVAC industry trade again, but this time from a logistics standpoint as opposed to being in the field. And I just worked my way up from being the warehouse delivery guy doing logistics to pretty much running the day-to-day operations for the company.
Did you run into any issues when it came to you being, formerly incarcerated? Did they hold that against you? I know that's one of the things that folks have really been working hard to, eliminate that stigma. How did you navigate that?
So, yeah, actually it did work against me. If I tried to apply for like, corporate places that, get a lot of applicants, they see one thing on your application they don't like and it's on to the next. They have so many different options.
Yeah.
So I found success in applying for smaller mom and pop companies.
Yeah.
Where they were more apt to giving chances and really just allowed my skill set and work ethic to carry me through.
How'd you get the patience, brother? Because I know a lot of folks grow impatient. In fact, there's a saying.
Yeah.
If it don't work, go back to what you know, which really is not.
Yeah, of course. Nah. So I became a father, in the year 2020, about 2.5 years after I paroled. And, that set the bar a little bit higher and gave me a whole new, incentive to succeed.
Yeah.
I really wanted to be able to provide for my daughter.
Oh, man.
The first year she was born, I thought we were going to end up, being homeless because our lease was up and I didn't have anywhere to go. And I'd actually lost my job because of COVID. And then, I was able to get in with this company again, like I said, as a warehouse guy and just worked my way up. I've been there for about almost 5 years now with this company. Man,
that is wonderful, man. And were there any doubters around you? People said you could haters. I mean, even forget the doubters, haters, man, you can't, did that come at you and if they were, how were you able to screen that out? And I know having that child was a big deal.
There was definitely a lot of people who assumed I was going right back in. And to be honest, I just used that as fuel. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just turned that into fuel to succeed. I wanted to be able to prove people wrong that I wasn't just gonna, go right back to prison. And I've been out now for going on 7 years almost.
Congratulations, brother. You getting big time applause in here. And I got something for you, okay? Because you did it. I got this book, Pressure by Malik Wade from FBI Fugitive to Freedom. I'm gonna get it to you, and we got the info. You're gonna like it, man. You're gonna like it, okay?
Right on, man. I appreciate it.
And congratulations. We appreciate you, my man. Thank you so much for calling. Yeah. I love that. I love that, man.
That was good.
Yes. Yep, we got another one. Okay. All right, here you go. You are on Street Soldiers. Turn the radio down and speak to us. Who are we talking to?
Man, you talking to Raymond Hill, man, from Fillmore, California.
Raymond, what's up, my brother? How are you?
Yeah, I've been through the system with Jack. You all of them, man.
I know.
Old school, 375 Woodside.
You how tell us your getting out and staying out story. How are you able to do it?
Well, you know, I got caught up, man, back in like 2003 on a federal case. The Page Street, you know, they took us down. The federal system took us down, man. I did 15 years. I've been out 6 years. Just minding my business. I ain't go back to the hood. I stayed away from old friends, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I managed to stay afloat, man. 6 years free, no run-ins, no pullovers, none of that.
Yes, sir.
I like your see one of the you gotta have a strategy. Staying out, staying away, you know, staying away from the old places. That was a key strategy for you, man. Did people try to pull you back in? Because I know that happens a lot.
Yeah, I moved away from San Francisco, man, so I wouldn't, you know, fall victim to what I went down to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's been doing me well. I've been surviving. I lost 2 sons throughout the process.
Yeah.
You know, I lost a son in 2018. I just had got out in April. He got killed in September. And then I lost my other son, little Raymond Hill, in 2019 on Halloween. So, you know, all that it's been real heavy, but you know, I've been dealing with it, and as long as I'm staying away from the old, I'm progressing real good, man.
Oh man, Raymond, I gotta tell you.
So Mr. Hill, I want you to know that I work with your kids. Jaquan,
I know all y'all. I know
Ramon, Rashad.
Yep.
What's the what is they call him? The baby Ray. And the daughter and your daughter, yes.
Damn! Wow.
Yes. They were right up there at John Muir. Those are my kids. Okay.
Yeah, I had to tap in, man. Just listening and knowing I grew up around y'all, been around y'all, and my kids follow my footsteps. You know, I just wanted to share it, man. I've been out 6 years strong. I did 15 years. I've been out 6 years strong, just minding my business and staying away from old folks, man.
Congratulations.
Oh man. Look, ain't nothing like freedom, right?
Man,
oh my goodness.
Look, I love it. I love it. You hear me? I ain't got to take no orders. You hear me?
Yes, sir. I get it, man. As Jack would say, you out of the slave quarters. That's what Jack used to always say that, man. You know, whether it be juvenile or the pen.
Yeah, I did. See, and I learned too, though, right? Because I did all my time juvenile. That was my first adult case. Yeah, Page Street racketeering case, man. That was my first case. And they made sure I sat down. And I'm making sure I stand up this time. Yeah.
That's right.
I appreciate y'all.
I got this book for you.
Y'all.
Mr. Hill, I got this book for you, Pressure, by Malik Wade. You're going to love the book, man. We're going to love the book. And you got his info. Yes. We're going to get, thanks for calling, man. Thank you so much, brother. And man, God bless you, man.
Anytime,
God bless
y'all, anytime. Y'all can call me up. I'll speak.
You got it, my brother.
Come through.
All right. You alive and free. Ain't nothing better. Lady E, the Hill, brother. We have
you. I mean, listen. You work with all of them. Jaquan.
Yep.
Raymond. Yep. Rashad.
Yep.
Right. And see, and the baby. I remember when when the baby girl came. Yes.
That's yes. Yeah. All right.
That's just amazing. I am so glad to hear, but I'm so sorry that Ramon didn't make it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I didn't hear about that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Dad's out. He's alive and he's free.
Well, see, I watched them come in from kindergarten.
Yep. I know you did. Got another call, 877-955-1061. You are on Street Soldiers, getting out and staying out. What's your story? Who is calling?
What's the deal, man? This is Michael out of Stockton.
How you doing, Mike? Thank you for calling, my brother. Tell us your story of getting out and staying out.
All right, so I paroled December 19th, 2019. I did 11-year sentence. And to be honest, man, what kept me motivated was I got 2 sons. Well, I got 3 sons now. I had one since I've been home, but I had two sons prior to going to prison. So I'm big on being a father. Throughout my whole time of being incarcerated, I've always been by my kids' side. They always visit. I made sure I kept in contact. So my goal was to make sure when I came home that my life belonged to them now, and it no longer belonged to the activities and the things that I once did.
Yeah.
But while I was incarcerated, a good friend of mine who's out in Atlanta now, I ain't gonna say his name, but he helped me build my credit and helped me get financially stable while I was incarcerated.
Wow.
So by the time I came home, I was able to understand financial stability and how to work my finances and how to manage my finances so I don't put myself in bad situations going out to do things. Because I'm an ex-bank robber, ex-drug dealer, things of that nature. So when I came home, I stayed focused, continued to build my my financial stability. And, you know, I got me a job, man. Most convicts complain and be like, hey, man, you can't get a job because of my background. I never believed that's true. I've always applied myself to get a job. And I got great jobs, man. Like right now, I'm a bus driver. And like I said, man, I've been home, going on 5 years now, 6 years now. The thought of going back to prison doesn't even cross my mind, man. You couldn't get me back to nothing in the world, man. I got another little boy that I just had. He's 3 years old. Man, I'm a happy, proud father, man, and I'm just doing what I got to do to take care of my kids. That's what keeps me motivated, man, and that's what keeps me going.
All right, man. Hey, man, you beat him, man. I like to say you gave him that number back.
Yeah, I gave him that number back for sure. I think I discharged my parole number in I want to say probably like a year and a half after I got out.
Man, that's look. And I got to give your kids, man. And you know, I've seen this happen. I've seen brothers promise their kids, when I get out, you know, you're gonna get your dad back. You're gonna get your dad back. You're gonna get your dad back. And 6 months later, their daughter, their son's heart is broken, man. I'm so glad that you have been able to keep your word to that, man. Cause you know, ain't nothing like being a dad, man. Kids need their daddies. So just thank you, brother. Thank you for persevering. Thank you for being alive and free. That's amazing. Amazing. I got a book for you, Pressure. I'm gonna get it to you. I'm gonna get it to you. All right. Is he gone?
Yeah, he's gone.
He's gone. Oh, okay. Oh, we're gonna give away a lot of books. 877-955-1061. Getting out and staying out. How were you able to do it?
I'm good. I'm good. How
Turn down your radio if you're in the car. Turn down the radio. You're on. Go right ahead. What's your name? Tell us your story.
My name is Belinda Webb, and I'm from San Francisco, and I went to prison in 1995, and I've been home since 2002. I did federal time in FBI Dublin, and from my experience, I was 19 when I left. I was 26 when I came home. I've had 2 children. One that's 20, that's graduated, went to Morehouse College. One that's about to be 18 now. And I just learned you cannot beat the system. You can't. It's either you're going to do right or you're going to be dead or in jail. Yeah. And I learned the hard way, and I've been home for 22 years, and I'm just blessed.
Oh, my God. That I want to ask you how you got caught up in the first place, but it's almost irrelevant because I was
doing bank robberies. I was doing bank robberies out there in San Francisco, being a hothead, not listening.
How did you figure it out? Did you figure it out in there? Because I know prison isn't set up to change, right?
Okay, I have a story to tell. While I was incarcerated, my father passed away. Then I lost my nephew, Ray Jemison Jr., to gun violence December 23rd on William Street. Then I lost my nephew, Damian Buckins, on Christmas, 2 days later. So right then and there, I had to decide to come home and be a productive citizen for my family, or be a screw up. And I decided right then and there, I was never leaving my family again. And I've been right here with them all.
Wow. Wow. That's a lot of character, huh? That's a lot of character.
Wrap it up.
Yeah, I mean, and really, I mean, you know, because yeah, it really is. I just got to give you love, you know. Morehouse. Wow. So when you made your decision,
Yeah, he graduated from Mission High School with a 4.0, and then he went on to Morehouse.
amazing.
I'm happy. I'm a proud mother. I am.
And you couldn't have done that unless you if you got out and stayed out and I'm just really just yeah.
No dads involved.
Yeah.
No dads, just family.
Yeah.
No fathers, just my family.
Wow. Congratulations. And for making that your decision and focusing on that and staying on that and say, I'm going to do this no matter what. You know, Khalid here has a wonderful saying. He says something that we've said to him, there's nothing wrong with being good. There's nothing wrong with being a good person, you know, and for some reason we think there's something wrong with being good. You know, we a sucker, we a swear, we whatever, we all that, you know, but being good is the best thing. And it's being good has allowed you to do that, to be the mom you have been destined to be. So congratulations. Thank you. We're going to get you the book. You're going to love it.
Okay.
And we love you.
I will.
Thank you. All right. But this is a wonderful story.
Man, beautiful.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Beautiful.
That one was touching.
They all touching to me.
Yeah, they are.
And it's lit when you make up your mind and you know, you were recounting your experience. There had to be some point in there where you said, and he said, I ain't coming back here.
I'm telling you.
And really, I ain't coming back
For
here.
real. Yeah. A conscious decision. Like almost can remember the day, you know.
Well, what can you?
It was like I used to sit on this thing. We're gonna get back to the San Quentin walking in there, but I used to sit and watch the birds sometimes. And I could go through we call it programming in prison, just go through the daily routine, weights, running laps, eating. You might got a little job, laying down, doing spreads, weights. It just goes over. But some days I be like on some real, my mind is at home. I'm not here. I'm looking at these people like, oh my God. You know, like I'm usually, hey. But now I'm looking at it like, what am I doing with him? And him? And him? What am I doing? This man is 60 years old and they calling him Big Cuz. And I'm like, brother, your name is Mr. Williams. You're not Big Cuz. I'm like, this is crazy.
It's some alternate universe.
I mean, it'll mess your mind up. It's sick, man. It's a whole nother thing. So I'm like, I swear to God, I'm never coming back. I used to whisper to myself.
Yeah.
I be looking at him like, this is ridiculous. You know, just what I used to do. And I'll be watching and I go back to programming and then another 60 days or 90 days here, I'll go back up watching the birds like, God, if you just let me go, let me be a bird.
Let me
just be a bird. I just want out. I want out. I got tired of it because I'm a happy person. Some people be out free and not even happy when they're free, not even understanding. I knew I was free when I was free.
Yeah.
I did what I wanted to do. I might be on a horse. I might be on the beach. I did all type of stuff, but now everything stopped. I'm like, I'm in here cold turkey. Like, I gotta get out of here. That's why some people break out because they really don't want to be in.
Yeah.
I was one of them. I don't want to be in here. You know, it was cool, and now I got all my friends in there. But when I get to myself, a tear drip every now and then. Yeah, I want out.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, I'm through. I'm never coming back. I told myself, because I couldn't take somebody walking up to me, knowing they weaker than me and tell me, get against the wall. We got somebody coming through. And I'm like, get against the wall. Wow. And I'm putting my face against a wall. I mean, it's just like the brother said, man, it's a whole nother world. It's not this world. Don't make no sense. None of it. So I used to, like a year, 6 months before I got out, I already was planning. I ain't coming back. You don't just get out and just say, well, I didn't just get out and say, okay, now I'm gonna work on not coming back. No, I was already not coming back. They tell us don't use showers for 2 weeks. I'm not coming back. Told us not to use, it was a water shortage back then, 92 or something like that. And we couldn't use the water. I said, so what do we do? I just got finished playing baseball. I'm thinking I'm Willie Mays. I'm sweating, stinking. And I'm getting, woo, and give me a shower.
Watch that
No,
back.
no showers, no showers.
Man.
I'm like,
Man.
so I'm like, I gotta get on, and I'm thinking my bed is like the one at home. I done got everything clean and got. I gotta sit on my bed. It's cold, man.
Oh, all right. Thank you for calling. Boy, these are amazing stories. You're on Street Soldiers, Dr. Marshall, Lady E, Khalil Elahi. What's your story of getting out and staying out? What's your name? Go right ahead. You there?
No, this is Mike. This is Mike Muscadine.
Mike, you early.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry about that, brother. I just was looking for the link. I was looking for the link.
I sent it to you. Didn't I send it to you? I know I did.
You sent me the YouTube channel.
Oh, I sent, but the link is on there. The link is on there.
Okay.
Yeah. Look
Okay.
at your email. Okay. Okay. But no,
Okay. Thank you.
right. Talk now. Talk now. We got you. Go right ahead. Go ahead. Tell us your story of getting out and staying out. Go right ahead.
Good evening, everyone. Mike Muscadine here from Courage. Yeah, man, just formerly incarcerated, directly impacted. Fifth generation here in Oakland, California, here in the Fruitvale district. You know, I didn't do too much time. I did juvenile hall time, county time, and also foster care time. So, you know, I feel that's a part of being incarcerated because it's already getting you ready and programmed from foster care to foster care system and group home from group home. And they treat you the same way as juvenile hall. Yeah, there's a lot, man. There's a lot to play with it of getting out of that system, that web, I want to call it, caught up in that system and being in probation and after that. But I want to say is getting out is, it was hard. It was hard because I was on probation at the age of 14 all the way till I was 27.
Wow.
So right when I got in on probation as a juvenile and right when I turned 18, I was 18 in the juvenile system and I went into the adult system at 18 on my birthday. Then I got my adult record from juvenile hall straight to Santa Rita and got my PFN. And then from there, from 18 to 27, I was just constantly incarcerated, county time violations, and just, you know, that just caught up in the system, right? You know, just caught up seeing probation, being late to a probation meeting. I was violated. Talking to a certain individual or wearing a certain color, I was violated. So I felt like I was always violated for little things.
Yeah.
But it was still just things pushing me back into the system and extending my probation till I was into my mid adults. And so when there was enough and me staying out was like, I'm getting tired of this. You know, I've been here since I was a 14-year-old kid.
Yeah.
Now I'm in my 20s and I'm continuing to cross this path. And I'm seeing my peers that are in their 30s and 40s, and I didn't want to be like that.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I got to make a change and an opportunity to switch the narrative and not be another statistic as my older peers that are still going to prison, federal prison, and I didn't want to be like that. And also was that, I'm when you say aha moment was when the Fruitvale gang injunctions and North Oakland gang injunctions hit in 2011 and 2010.
Yeah.
The North Oakland gang injunction was in the North Oakland and it hit the African-American community pretty hard. And then they came to the Fruitvale district and they hit the Hispanic community. And it was basically like stop and frisk, gang injunction. You couldn't come outside. You had a curfew. You couldn't talk to certain individuals if you're on probation or you're not on probation. You could have been a saint. You could have been a kid. But if you talk to somebody that was affiliated, then you're on that injunction. That injunction, those probations still apply. You could be never committed a crime in your life, but you said hi to Mike and the law enforcement has seen that. So now you're on the injunction. Now all those terms apply to you too because you're guilty by association. So that whole moment was like, I got to start speaking for my people that can't speak. I got to speak for the people that are afraid to speak because they're on parole and probation. And they're telling me, Mike, don't say nothing. You know, basically I was trying to like kind of start like a little revolution. Like, hey, we got to go to court. We got to go to the city council. We got to go to Alameda County Board of Supervision meetings and talk about our rights. And a lot of people are like, man, I'm on probation, Mike. I got 5-year felony. Mike, I'm on parole. I can't do that. They're going to violate me if I go over there, if I see my parole. I'm cool. They're basically the people who are scared of here in the community. They didn't want to speak out against it. They seen the injustice. but they didn't want to speak out. So my aha moment was staying out was getting more politicized
Yeah.
and getting more organized and activism to make me stay out and be a voice for the community and be that voice that the other folks.
And
so
that's
I was that
what you
voice
have been
going
doing.
to the
That's
sport day.
that's exactly what you have been doing. You were on our show a few weeks ago talking about that. And congratulations, Mike. You're an inspiration, man. You really are. And I just, what can I say, man? Just thank you. Thank you. Thank you for figuring out, number one, and deciding enough is enough. It's a gauntlet. It's a gauntlet. I know it is. But you've shown that it can be done. And look, the more you know, the more you owe. You want to help others. We got a book for you, man. Don't worry about the second hour. We got you right now. We got a book for you, Pressure. I'm going to get it to you. You're going to love it. Thank you so much for calling in. And wow, we got to keep going, huh?
No.
Oh,
We're
no?
going to keep going in
second
just
hour?
a minute.
All
Yeah,
right.
that's right.
Woo.
Visit us on YouTube at
Need a drink
Stay
of
Live
water.
and Free to keep up with the conversation. We'll be back in about 2 minutes.
All right.
Tell me what you see when you look at me. Do you see another brother lost in these streets looking for his soul?
Trying to find my soul.
Or do you see another brother searching for lost souls in these streets? A street soldier.
Street soldier.
Here to help you get that chip off your shoulder, warm your colder days and sober your drunken ways, and find a way to help you get over these hurdles placed in our path. And this is not meant to amuse you. This is for all those who have questions but are afraid to ask.
I won't be afraid. I won't be afraid. No. When times get hard, you lose your way. Open your mind and hear what I say.
This is a message for the hard and the soft. To those who tune in weekly and to those who keep an eye out for 8 p.m. on Sundays and turn their radios off. The truth hurts. The cloth has been pulled. We're walking around half dead. Use this show as your IV. Alive and Free is a new movement. We've achieved self-destruction. A street soldier promotes self-improvement.
Streets couldn't be no colder, so I gotta be a soldier. It shouldn't be this hard for me. Even when it seems so hopeless, I gotta keep my focus. I'm glad to be alive and free, yeah. Streets couldn't be no colder, so I gotta be a soldier. It shouldn't be this hard for me. Even when it seems so hopeless, I gotta keep my focus. I'm glad to be alive and free, yeah.
Hour number 2, Alive and Free, Street Soldiers Radio, YouTube, and Zoom. We are ready to go. What a first hour. What a first hour. What a first hour. Our time tonight is getting out and staying out. Amazing calls on Straight 2 from KML. Yep. Just amazing. Guys were able to get out and stay out. Anna and a lady. Mm-hmm. Guests in the studio, Khalid Alahi, going to carry us over into the second hour. And we're joined by folks who are going to give us their story of, I'm calling it redemption, getting out and staying out. So wave your hand when I say your name. Harold Atkins, back again. My man, Dr. Reggie Daniels. I feel like an announcer at a game. Okay. Theodore Butler. What's up, my man, Theodore? I've just had the pleasure of meeting this gentleman, Travis Stocking. Raise your hand. Jason Hopkins, raise your hand. And I'm waiting on one more. I don't know why he ain't here. Waiting on Conrad Harris, who's going to join us. But I sincerely want to thank all of you for joining us. This is, as I said, I don't know if you heard any of that first hour. It was tremendous. And I wanted to do this because I just admire anybody. I said this when the show started, who has been able to get out and stay out. And I don't care if it's juvenile. I don't care if it's the county. I don't care if it's YA that doesn't exist anymore, or the state time, federal time. I know the system is not set up to rehabilitate. If it happens by osmosis. But if one is able to, I call figure it out, and able to get out and stay out, I call it giving that number back. That's what I call it. I call them giving that number back, and lead the life you were supposed to lead. Much admiration. I am dedicating the show to a gentleman named Malik Wade, who wrote a book called Pressure. I think some of you might know Brother Malik. From
yes, sir.
Live to Freedom. This is it. So, y'all get a book too. Okay. Y'all get a book too. Get a book too. Amazing story. And he did some at the very end that I'm gonna read when we wrap up, to get to sort of wrap up. He did something amazing that I wish more people would do that he did. But how are you? How's everybody? Let's get into it. Man, you've all been able to get out and stay out. The question is, how? How? So, first of all, by way of introduction, just introduce yourself, say how long you spent, say how long you've been able to get out. We'll get introductions, and we'll go back and go deeper into the story. So, Harold, I see you first. Thanks for coming on the show again. Met you maybe, a couple of months ago when we did.
Yeah,
we did our show. So thank you for coming. Why don't you just tell everybody who you are and how you were able to get out and stay out? Not how, but how long you were there and what for.
I got you. Thanks for having me. Always a pleasure being on the show. My name is Harold Atkins. I served 6 years in state prison. I've been home since March 25th, 1999. I believe going on 25 years or going on 26 years to put it out there, right? So, man, it feels incredible. And, I'll tell you a little bit more about what worked for me.
Dr. Reggie Daniels. And let me just say, when he was in there, he wasn't a doctor. So, the brother's been busy.
That's right, Doc. Staying busy. Come on, Doc. It's good to see you, man. It's good to see you. For me, drugs and weapons was part of my cycle of incarceration. And I did that for a decade and a half, for about 15 years, inside and out, doing what lifers inside tend to call doing life on a lend-lease basis. You're coming out to visit the streets and you're going back home to prison over a 15-year period. So, and I've now been out for over 19 years and had an opportunity to do a bunch of exciting things that I'll talk about a little bit more in the show.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Known that brother a long time. Theodore Butler, what's up, man? What's up? Unmute and tell us a little biographics.
How you doing, Doc? My name is Theodore Butler. thank you for having me back on the show. I did 30 years for murder. And I've been out for about 5.5. So, and I remember meeting you. I mean, I may have only been out maybe about a year or two when I first met you, and you ain't got rid of me yet, so I don't know what you're gonna do about that. Me and you still got to talk, but you ain't getting rid of me. So that's my thing.
Congratulations, Thedo.
Yes.
Jason, my man, Jason.
Unmute.
We don't hear you. We don't hear you. All we hear is see a mouth moving. Don't hear a voice.
There we go. There we go. I got it. Excuse my lack of technology. Me, 91 county jail, 93 county jail, Folsom Prison, 95, did 19 months and 20 days off a 3-year sentence. Got out October of 96, and I ain't been back, ain't trying to go back since.
Thank you, Jason. Travis just met you. Got a great referral from you from my guy, Stefan down in San Diego. So thank you for coming, and tell us your briefs, your autobiographical beef on this prison thing.
My name is Travis Stocking. I did 9 years. Been out for 32 years now. And my crime was robberies, assault and batteries, and great bodily harms, intentions to kill. I don't know how they got the intentions to kill. They was in my mind, but yeah. And that's me.
That's it. All of you, the fact that we are having this call and I get to see you means you are alive and free, and you'll be able to get out and stay out. And you know, one of the things I would get a lot of calls from the joint, and Khalid, what they would say is, you're getting a call from an inmate in a federal prison, right? Yeah, that was a disclaimer they would do, right? And sometimes they do collect calls. Like, that guy, you know, there's just so much that goes into this whole thing, which I know you're aware of. I mean, I really, the challenges of getting out in the state are significant. I've heard things like, what, 75%, anything from 66% recidivism to 75%. I've seen guys get out, and women get out on Friday and go back on Monday. I mean, I have literally seen that. And you get your wish, and then you're not able to keep that wish. And one of the things Khalid talked about early on was the awakening when he got there for the first time. I don't know if you ever heard. If you heard, did you hear what he said? Then you hear about the first day he got to Quentin and what that was like, and getting off the bus and walking in. What was your first, your first impression? Something just knocked you out. Khalid, just talk about, say it one more time, because I don't know if they're here.
And these brothers know what I'm talking about. I went up. I never had been to San Quentin. Walked up them 4 steps or 5 steps, and the minute one of my feet touched inside, they said strip down. Okay. Then when they said strip down, they got 3 cages to the left. Several brothers in all the cages, everybody staring at you. They got the brothers gripping they behinds, and they coughing and bent over. It's just like I felt every bit of the scene on Roots, man. I felt so bad, and I couldn't do it because I'd never been. I just couldn't do that, and I had to be. Man, it was tough. So I did it. And it was the worstest thing I ever did. I felt like I was being, I was mentally being raped or something. I felt it was against my will. And I had never did nothing against my will. Never in my life. That was the first time somebody made me do something other than my parents.
The other thing he said, he's from Richmond, California, by the way. The other thing he said is that he used to listen to the show when he was in San Quentin. He listened to me on the air talking about, get the hell out of there, right? And this is what you got to do, and stop the violence, and blah, blah, blah. And y'all know what I say, right? I got this whole thing, like, do right no matter what, and tell them what you said.
He was going in deep one night, and I had never heard him, and I was just like, he gonna get somebody killed. I said, from where I'm from, everything, his advice, I listen to this and go out full blast with this. I'm getting shot straight in the head sooner or later, or I'm gonna call somebody else to get killed. I said, man, I wish I could talk to this dude so bad on the phone and let him know, man, it's not what you think and blah, blah, blah. But I really was 1,000,000% against Alive and Free, 1,000,000% against it. Cause I just never heard it like that. And he was going in. I said, nah, he gonna get somebody killed.
And he eventually did meet me, as a lot of you have. Yeah, I want to meet this dude. I want to meet this dude. And like a lot of you, I have these long-time relationships. We've had one. It's been glorious. He's got out and he stayed out. For each of you, Fedo, let's start with you. Was there a moment when you said, this is it? This is it? This is it? Because a lot of people say it's it, but ain't really it. They get pulled back in. Was there a moment that you could think of that I'm through with this? I'm not going back, no matter what. Because it's daunting. You got the parole obstacles, right? You got that stuff, and then you got the people trying to pull you back into it. You got, and I have this thing a lot of times. I will say, people in jail just do time. They don't change.
Mm.
That's
not true. That's not true.
A lot of I've seen have done time and they haven't changed. That's what I mean. I don't mean
a lot. I'll say it like this, since you called on me first. A lot of people get into you get to prison, and especially if you get there with time like I got, you go in there. I went in there 18 years old with a 15 to life sentence. Pete Wilson had just come into office, and he said that, hey, you're not leaving out of here. If you got a life sentence, you're not leaving out of here unless you're in a pine box. So my thought process was, all right, this is it. You're telling an 18-year-old kid from Los Angeles, a gang member, you ain't getting out. All right, no problem. I'm not gonna try. And I actually came through San Quentin first too, and it was like first walking into that. It's like, if you ain't ever seen San Quentin, it's like an old castle.
Oh, I've been there many times.
So it's like when you first walk up in there, it's like, whoa, what is this? This is like old Folsom. But the thing that changed, I don't think there was any one particular. I mean, my mother passed maybe about 7 years into my sentence, and I think that might have been the catalyst that caused me to change. But it actually pushed me into a deeper. For a while, it pushed me towards a deeper refusal that I'll ever get out, because it's like, my mama gone. I ain't got nothing to live for. So why am I trying? But over the course of time, you get little things cause you to change. First off, you get older, you get tired of the bull. It's a constant. Politics in prison is deadly. It's deadly. And like the brother said, I used to listen to you too. And I told you this when we first met. I used to listen to you too on the radio, and I used to think, this old man must be. He has no clue what he's talking about.
Right.
He has no clue. I'm like, you don't have. And it took meeting you and actually talking and actually just having a bunch of different conversations together to understand that it wasn't about the instant moment that you were talking about. It's talking about the overall cumulative effect of change and making better, more healthier decisions for yourself. And
I tell you this, I had a brother who told me when I first started, when he heard me first talking this positivity, because he was obviously living a different lifestyle, he said it sounded like wah, 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 wah. I'll never forget that. It didn't make no sense to him. So I get that. Let's park your story, put it in the parking lot. We're coming back. Harold, was there a moment for you when you, as I say, finally figured it out?
So, yeah, and I, you know what? I wish I could take all the credit for that, but I'm gonna give a lot of that credit to a lot of other people. When I came home, some of my mentors, David Lewis and Barry Zach, and all those guys were waiting for me, and they had plans for me, and I didn't understand why. I was still young. I knew sort of that I had to make some changes, but I wasn't really thinking like that, to tell you the truth. When I got out, I went right to what they call the visitors house right there out front of San Quentin, because I was on the board of directors for Center Force, and there was a spread for me, and they was like, "Welcome home." And then when I got back, my brother was planning the party, and everybody was like, "Welcome home." David Lewis was like, "We got you a job." People was like, "Oh, we can help you get in college." And then I started coaching football, and all the kids was counting on me to be there to show up and all this stuff. So the community I didn't really have a plan per se, but the community had plans for me. And I can't help but think how much stuff would have been different. Like I said, if I was a substance user, if I was homeless, if I had a mental health issue, I was a young man that still had ties to the family. It was the 90s. But I will tell you this, riding into San Quentin on that bus, it was all, it was the 90s, man, but it seemed like I was getting kicked back to the 70s or early 80s or something. I was seeing cats with jerry curls, weight pile out there swole, and kind of, not really understanding what was going on in the community. Like some folks that are incarcerated now, they know what's going on out in the community. I wasn't seeing a lot of guys that was in touch with the community. I was seeing guys that was in touch with prison politics and understanding what was going on in there. So I wish I could tell you that I had this aha moment, but my aha moment was sort of like bestowed on me by a lot of other people who had plans for me and kind of guided my education, my understanding of how to be in society and all this stuff. After I got, I say I took the reins after I got into my late 20s, early 30s, and started making plans for myself.
Thank you. And everybody's journey is different. Everybody's story is different. And I'm glad they saw something in you that you didn't necessarily see in yourself. I say that a lot to the young people. Jason,
yes, sir.
Jason, was there an aha moment?
What's up, Doc?
What's up, my brother?
My aha moment was Old Folsom. When you by way of San Quentin, my San Quentin, I'm a sci-fi geek. I'm a comic book geek and all that stuff. So when I got to Quentin, we didn't get on the Grey Goose. San Francisco Sheriff pulled straight up in there. We didn't get no Grey Goose. San Francisco Sheriff dropped you off, get you up out of their hair. But I remember looking at the tower, the walls, and the gunmen had the cables so they're getting blown off that damn wall. And my little kid, I went to prison at 23. My kid comic book self was saying, "Damn, these walls so big, Spider-Man had to climb these." So that was my oh shit, Spider-Man got to climb these walls. But that was that kid in me still. But my aha moment was getting to Folsom, what you call the fish row. That's the intake. I was stuck there for 2 weeks and not knowing why. And I heard a Mexican got what they call his back blown off. So he got shot by the prison guard. Wasn't even involved in the fight. And I heard that he was 6 months to going home, and he had actually did 12 to 16 on killing the story was he killed the undercover cop, and he beat the case. So the COs was not going to let a cop killer walk off their yard. So there was a fight with the what they call the Bices, the Border Brothers, and he was a Norteño, wasn't even involved in it, got shot, died. So when the OGs used to say, "Youngster, you're never guaranteed to come out of prison," that was my aha moment, because I was on the yard, taking a shower, heard the shot, rushed us out, locked on Fish Road, and which means you lock 24/7 with whatever state issues they give you. And it now clicks that I'm with the big boys now. This is real shit, excuse my language, and you ain't guaranteed to come home. So I got there June of 95. So that was my aha moment. I was done. My mother always told me I didn't raise you to hate anyone, anything, but I hate some prison.
I got it, brother. I got it. Congrats. Travis, an aha moment for you. Was there one that say this is it? Or a wake up or whatever? You got to wake up right on your t-shirt right there.
Oh, yeah. Well, mine was when I awakened. I was in Tracy Penitentiary. Yeah. And they used to call that the gladiator schools back in the 80s. So, you know, 85, I was up there. And I was on the yard. Everybody sitting, you know, different nationalities had their own benches and tables. And I walked away from all the homies and I went to the middle of the yard. And people in prison, if knowing about prison, you don't go to the middle of the yard by yourself. The homies want to walk with me. I said, "No, I'm good." I went to the middle of the yard. I kneeled down, not on my knees, but I kneeled, squatted. And I looked up and it was like night yard. I looked up and there was stars, the moon. And I asked God, why am I sitting here caged up like an animal when the outside world can see the same stars and that same moon that I see? So why am I here? And just like we're talking right now, God answered me. This is the only place that I will be able to talk to you and you will listen, you know, because I wasn't listening on the street. I was gangbanging. That was my world. The robberies I was doing, the assaults I was doing that for the set, so we can be able to buy guns and all that. So I was doing things that I wasn't gonna stay alive long. And they always say, we don't make it out of our teenage life like 19, 21. We don't make it that long. So you know what I'm saying? I just want to be the best gangbanger I can be, you know. But when I went to prison and I seen all the other guys in there, I'm like, wow, this is it. This is my life. How can I allow my mother to have more faith in me than I had in myself? So that day on that yard, I went back to my cell. I locked down. When they call yard recall, I locked down and I said, sit. I was already in there for 5 years. I said, I can't do this no more. I can't make this the rest of my life. You know what I'm saying? I got a family that love me. My mother, my wife, they all went to prison with me. When I went to prison, they came with me. And they was in those cells just like I was. So I said, they didn't even do anything. Why are they in prison? Because I'm there and they love me that much. So in order for me to get out, I had to love myself more than what other people loved me. And I had to have more faith in me than my mother had in me. How can I even let that happen? How can my mother have more faith in me than I had in myself? That was crazy to me. So then that was my awakening moment. I said, never again. That's it. When I get out, I'm going to name something after this gladiator, because that's what we called it, gladiator school. And now my boxing.
We're going to do now. We're going to stop right there and come back to the rest of the story. That was incredible. Absolutely incredible. Dr. Daniels. Dr. Daniels.
Hey, Doc.
The aha moment when I'm done moment.
Done moment. Man, first of all, it's just a pleasure. It's good to see you on this side of the fence, and you know, to be sharing classes with you at USF as opposed to you coming to see me up in one of these prisons. So let me start off by saying this, right? So I never had to do nothing to get out. You understand what I'm saying? Except for get a date. Staying out requires something different, right? So I always got a date, but that didn't mean that I was going to stay out. So I won't say that I won't say that there was a particular thing that happened, because in my neighborhood, I got an acceptance letter to Reardon. I was considered the guy to be most likely to succeed in Betrayal Hill. I grew up in the hood, you know, and I went to Reardon. I went to Reardon. Every day I got on the bus and went to Reardon and got a diploma. And when I came back, I was expecting my neighborhood to be successful.
So let me say that. School boy, just
Come
like
on,
me.
man. Let me tell the truth. You know my whole family. I can't lie to you, Doc. You know. And so I experienced a traumatic experience, didn't have the coping skills to deal with it. And I got bad information, like you say, and I went along with that. But let me say this. I had several moments of clarity, several near-death experiences. That was not enough for me. What happened for me was I finally had a transformational experience, right? So, you know, it's a difference than having a moment of clarity. It don't stay with you, right? I'm in a cop car. I'm going, you know, the judge sentencing me. I'm afraid, and I get out. 3 months later, I'm back doing what I'm doing. So those moments of clarity didn't last. But the transformational experience for me was me asking for help. That's something that I never did the whole entire time that I was in, and it changed my life. It was transformational.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Conrad, step out, Conrad. Man,
What's happening, Doc?
I love you, man. Damn.
What's going on, baby?
Conrad, look, Conrad, Khalid.
Look at him. Hey,
Assalamu alaikum, Maki.
Alaikum assalam.
Man, it's so good to see you, man. It's really.
It's always a pleasure, Doc. Been a long time, man.
Yeah, I know, brother. I know, man. Yeah, moment, man. We just was there one and a little bit because everybody gave their history before you got on, you know, how long they was in, what they was in for. So why don't you start there and then
okay. I was all together with the state and the feds, I probably done like 22 years behind bars, probably something like that. I've been home now for 25 years though. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it ever was a aha moment. Sometimes you just get sick and tired of being sick and tired, you know? And my mom and my dad instilled some things in me that once I got in the streets, they went dormant. You know what I'm saying? And I was out there amongst the heathens, so I was acting like a heathen, man. And one thing I can say, Doc, is that the only reason for me staying out is Allah. Allah gave me blessed me to come home, and He's guided me ever since I've been here, Doc. My first job when I got home wasn't a good job. My first job, I worked at Subway. You know what I'm saying? And 2 weeks after I worked at Subway, a friend of mine walked in. He had a better job for me, so I got a better job. And Allah had just guided me through this whole journey of life so far, Doc. And all the praise be to Him, whether it's good, bad, or in between. I can't take credit for nothing, Doc. And in my life, I've had some ups and some downs, man. Prior to the recession, Doc, I owned 3 homes. After recession, I was on my mama's couch. Right now, today, Doc, I own 3 more homes again. So God is good, man. You know, that's all I can say, Doc. I give all the praises to Allah. Every time something went on in my life, God guided me through it, man. I went through a divorce. Now I got me a really good woman, you know what I'm saying? I'm finna get married again, you know? So if anything, all I can do is give all the praises to Allah, man, because every time I hit an obstacle, He was there to move it out my way, Doc.
I got to tell you a story about Conrad. So I met Conrad down when I was in San Diego doing this training. You know, I do my live and free trainings, right? And my whole thing, and Reg knows, people have been in the disease of violence. I'm doing the training. So, you know, I ain't never been a gang member, but so Stefan say, man, Dr. Marshall got this, Dr. Marshall, he got that, man, he was talking about the disease, about getting infected with the mindset and all, he got risk factors. So Conrad said, I'm going to go and see what this dude got to say, because he ain't no gang member. How the hell he going to tell me about being a gang member? I'm doing the training, come in. And he's sitting in the front row just staring at me for 3 days. Didn't crack a smile. Like, he like you listen to me on the radio, Fiddle. He like you, right? You know, I'm Mr. Positive, telling him how you get here. And like, how you know? Look, when that thing was over, he came up to me and said, thank you, man. Thank you. I always thought I was just a bad kid. I always thought I was a bad kid. I didn't know I just got infected.
That's it.
And that seemed to have gave him something. I was never really bad. I was like this computer, you know, it's a great instrument, but got a virus.
That's it.
But the computer ain't bad, you know, and then they threw the computer into prison with a whole bunch of other infected people, right?
Yes, sir.
Never forget that, man. Not that I needed to be validated, but that was a beautiful moment for me, man, because you are a wonderful human being, man. You look, and all of you are. But when you get off track, that gets, you know, that gets, it's like this beautiful computer that can do wonderful things. It can only, it's not you. And that's the one thing I think all of you have come to the point. That other person, that wasn't you. And to you to get back to being you is just wonderful and marvelous. Was there because I've been to Lompoc, you know, I've been to Quentin, I never went to Pelham, I've been to Folsom, I've been to, I met Suge Knight at Mule Creek. That was a crazy, that was an experience. Suge tried to pull the grass out. Don't listen to him. You know, that was an experience. Maybe my greatest, I mean, not my greatest, but certainly a special one for me was meeting Tookie Williams on death row, right? You know, but I knew there was, in all of that, there's humanity there. And so rediscovering who you are and you know, when Khalid talks about, you know, the inhumaneness of this,
Yeah.
right? Anybody who knows Jack, well, my buddy, he calls it the slave quarters.
Yeah.
And you know, just being there, how do you navigate that every day? I mean, you learn, what do you do? I've heard stories and the guys would tell me stories. I'm in there with the lifers and they tell me stories. Is it a watch your back every day thing? I mean, what it must be a hell of an existence, and I wouldn't wish it on anybody. Just during that time, and you can speak, Khalid, too, but what do you do just to keep your sanity in there? Anybody want to speak to that? Or maybe you just want to forget those days, which is probably good.
Nah, them are forgettable days. I actually got to concentrate to think about them days. You know what I'm saying? You know, I was fortunate when I got to the main line. My mind was crazy. I got, like I said, I was on Fish Road for two weeks. When I got to the main line, I actually had a Crip that was my cellie. So one of the big homies already saw me and was like, "Yo, Jay, we're gonna come talk to you," you know, because brothers from the Bay and Crips don't normally mix. So everybody was shocked about me staying in the house with him for 44 days. He asked me where I was from, told him Frisco, what part, Fillmore. I said, "Oh, really? What part? OC?" He's like, you know Scotty Washington?" I'm like, "Yeah, that's my cousin." And he's like, you know, long story short, my cousin Nina has a child by his baby brother. So I mean, what's the odds of me getting to Folsom Prison, meeting my cousin's child's Crip family from LA up in Folsom Prison? So my unique thing was I got to learn about the Crip thing, which was like mind blowing. They serious about, I mean, when they say it's a lifestyle. So it was interesting to be in there with him, but he was like more of, I know your people's gonna want to move you out of here, but I appreciate it if you stay. So he asked me to stay because we only have 44 days left. So you know, we do that. So everybody was kind of puzzled about that, but he taught me about that Crip lifestyle, but he schooled me because he's like, "I don't want nobody to be in his house with me saying I didn't school you on this." Then after about a couple of days, he told me my bigger cousin, one of the watchdogs, is over in one building. So, you know, I had already had a big cousin that's been doing this. So I was fortunate that I had somebody that was like family to me from a whole different angle about how they got down. Then I had a big cousin already on another part of the yard who schooled me. But to me, it was like being in the projects. You know what I'm saying? I was running around up in OC, really out of Page Street. So you always had your head on a swivel. So you always have to be conscious of what's going on around you, who's where, what's what. You know, we all know the prison politics is supersede, you know, street stuff. So, you know, brothers you was tripping with on the street that don't go into prison no more. If you do, we is fortunate in one building or two building. No, the original part of Folsom was, I believe, 5 building. That was a black lieutenant. He'll let brothers go in the back and get a one-on-one. So if you had some street stuff, you can go handle that there. But as far as the Bay Area and the Frisco car, we had to stick together. So it is a stressful environment, and then you got to get checked when you get comfortable. People will pull your coattail and say, "Hey, you know, you didn't check that blind spot when you came from, you know, 2 building through, you know, to 3 building, you know." So it is one of those situations that you got to travel. If you're walking by yourself, you got to make sure you know what you're doing. When you travel 2, 3, 4 deep, you know, we all got to watch each other back. So it always is a constant be aware of your surroundings. Yeah. And it is stressful. For me, you know, I had to learn the hard way. You can't hold on to the streets. I was doing that because I was thinking about my money. I was thinking about the people that had my money. So I lost my hairline in prison. That's when my hairline started receding. And it took me a while to realize after about the first year that I got to let all that go. I got to deal with what's in front of me, get this last little, you know, 7, 8 months out the way and make my way home. But it is a constant keep your head what they call on the swivel. It always is. Even if you're not participating in the
Right.
BS.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I wasn't in no act. I wasn't up under no order. So I was just with the Frisco car. But even if you don't participate, you gotta be head on the swivel.
Thank you, James. Thank you. I think that says it all. And I thought everybody has stories like that. I think the one thing in my just going, I found out was, and I knew a lot of that because guys would tell me that, or they'd write. I get a lot of letters. They'd write, and, you know, they tell me. It was the stories I would hear about the prison guards, Khalid. And can I just say a nice word? The unethical. I mean, I heard stories about cell phone scams, and I mean, I just heard all kinds of stuff from the people that were trustees, and I mean, it was just insane, you know. And I would say they need to be locked up. You know, I mean, I don't know if any of you experienced that stuff or heard of this stuff, but I was told that, you know, and maybe I'm not supposed to know that, but I do know it. That's got to be, you know, very, what can I say? I don't even say the word disheartening, and that's a nice word. When you run into people like that who don't give a damn about you. You know, I'm sure there are a lot of people that you met that did, but you know, their job is to do their job. And I don't know if any of you got any stories about that.
So you know, we talked about this before. You know, I told you, my father had life without the possibility of parole. When my mother was pregnant with me, she was serving a 5-year sentence on Terminal Island, right? And so I one of the things I tell people is that I had been prepared. My mother raised us in a way I didn't understand what was going on, but I kind of understand now. And I told this story before, Dr. Marshall, where I remember talking to my mother, and she said, you know, the one thing I don't want is when, you know, some people go to Harvard, people from our community go to prison. And I don't want you walking in there being no punk, right? I never understood what she meant until I walked in there, right? And when I walked in there, I hate to say this, but I had been prepared to do that my whole life, right? I remember my mother used to tell us, don't tattletale when we was younger. I remember my mother tell somebody hit you, you hit them back. Somebody disrespect you, take off, you know, all that stuff. So I wish I could tell you that I walked in there and it was some aha moment, but, you know, visiting my father, like being around people that was going, it was like, that's all we was talking about anyway. People who came from East Palo Alto, that was kind of the expectation, right? And then when you talking about like dealing with sworn staff on the inside, you know, to me, it was just the human condition. I mean, you're around people, you start pulling for certain people and hating on other people. You start wanting good things to happen for some people and bad things to happen to other people. And I think, you know, that every human in there was going through that, right? Every human in there was going through that. The manipulation tactics from every human in there kind of affected every other human in there. So, I mean, we could talk about staff. We could talk about our fellow, convicts. We could talk about a lot of folks and the different circumstances. Even push that harder. Like all my friends that I met up in there was my father partners that had life that I did not think was going down. I heard one of the brothers say, Pete Wilson. When I went there, Pete Wilson was there and them. And so a lifer, no matter you had 7 to life, 10 to life, 15 to life, 25 to life. My understanding was he was never coming home, you know, based on how that was going out there. So I mean, some of the stuff with the staff, I mean, it'd be kind of weird to me to act like that human condition wouldn't affect every human in there. And I'm talking about not just the sworn staff, but everybody from the food people and the store people and everybody. You had to watch out for everybody. And it's sort of the same out here. And we forget that the only thing, I mean, I know we talk about that secure thing in there. I think all of that is just a structural belief system that people talk about. Most of the stuff that go on in there, every human in there know what's going on, and every human in there is playing a part in that. Yeah. And I just leave it at that. I don't really want to talk about people individually. Yeah, but and I don't want to say what's up to Reg, Big Reg. This is Youngin, man. You know, I ain't never forgot about you, man, and I talk to you soon.
Yeah. And that, you know, you're up against all of that. Khalid's up against, you're up against all of that. And somehow you got to make it out of the slave quarters and not go back. So, and you all been able to do that when a lot of people can't. So if I was going to ask each of you your secret sauce, what's your secret? What is it that kept, that you like, that's it, I'm done. Whatever temptation comes up, whatever roadblock is being thrown. I mean, you got you can't be hired. You got the band, you got the box thing, you got the back in the neighborhood thing. You got the homies, you got all of that stuff. You got the conditions of your parole. You got it all.
Right.
And a lot of people, for whatever reason, it's not judgmental, aren't able to navigate that. So obviously you got a secret you need to share. And I'm saying this because probably right now somebody is going to watch this show or hear this show who is locked up and thinks they aren't able to do it. And I know that's not true because all of you have, right? And so this is a chance for you to share to them, this is what you got to do. I would say no matter what, if you want to, as I say, stay alive and free,
I ain't trying to dominate the conversation or nothing, but I just, I'm hearing what you asking. In the beginning, before I had all these skills and education and all this, I realized I could use some of that same stuff I was using in the street to do what you're talking about now. You couldn't push me off the block. I was determined, right? So why do I let you push me out the workforce? Why do I let you? You know what I mean? I had to use. I knew how to control what I was controlling. So I mean, I could use that in business. I could use that wherever I go. In the beginning, I think I was still a master manipulator, and I just I wasn't taking no for an answer. And then once I got the education and David Lewis and those guys laced me how to get a job and how to run my family, not like I ran other things. I think some of those same skills are transferable, but then you have to go those only take you so far. Then you got to go and get some other skills. When you grow up like I grew up, you ain't gonna know nothing about proper finances and financial literacy and doing the right things when it comes to the like the business side and having the real structure. And I just think that some of that education we have to get formally, right? One way or another, be it at a program or a true educational system like a college or a school. But I mean, you really have to diversify your skill set and how you're thinking. So it's not always all bad.
Let me go to Conrad. Conrad, what's the secret sauce, brother, for you? What can you share with people? This is what you got to do. If you were gonna say,
I mean, ain't nothing in the world stronger than a made up mind, Doc. Like I heard one other brother say earlier, I start preparing for this life 5-6 years before they cut me loose. I let my last jolt, I did 11 years straight on my last one. And for about the last 4-5 years, all I did was prepare myself for the other side of that wall. And I knew I wasn't coming back, Doc. When they let me out that gate, I knew I was never coming back through that gate again, man. And it used to all the time be a superstition. If you turn around, look at the gate, you're going to come back. Ooh. I turned around, looked dead at that gate and told it bye. And I ain't been back since. But I think that one of the other things is that coming home, I had a very, very, very strong support network, man. At the time, I had both my mom and my dad. And my dad was the greatest dad that ever walked this planet. Let me tell it. You know what I'm saying? He may not have been the best husband, but he was definitely the best father, man. And when I came home, my father was there for me. My mother was there for me. And anything that I wanted to do, as long as I was doing the right thing, my parents supported me. Not only my parents, my brothers, my sisters, everybody supported me. And getting into that lifestyle, I'm the youngest of 4 boys. I'm the youngest boy. So all my older brothers were gang members. They sold dope, they sold heroin, they did all that. And I used to see these things, and my daddy tried to keep me away from it. But, sometimes it's easier to do as I say, but not as I do. And my brothers just tell me the same thing, man, you don't want to do this, you want to do this. But my brother's pulling up in a brand new Cadillac every other month. He got a brand new Brougham. I'm like, man, this is what I want.
Good advice, bad example, cause confusion.
Exactly. But I think that anybody who's coming home, that first you have to have a strong belief, Doc, that you can do better. You know what I'm saying? And I also heard one of the brothers say this. I used to be in the day room in the penitentiary, sitting there, and I would look around the penitentiary and I would see how other people were acting. And I would look around and say, man, what the fuck is, excuse my language, what are you doing here? This ain't for you. Is this what you want to do for the rest of your life? And I start preparing myself, Doc, every day. I took every trade they had, every skill they had. I stayed at the masjid. I stayed up in there because I knew all things going to be possible through Allah. Ain't nothing going to happen without it, Doc. And I'm going to keep on telling y'all that because that's my foundation. That's my strength to everything that I do, Doc. Good, bad, in between, up, down, near, far. Everything, I give all the praises to him. I ain't did nothing real. I ain't did nothing, Doc. What you see from me is what God allowed me to be, man. And we just got to let these brothers know who coming home. I hope somebody looking at that. Have faith in something, whether you're Christian, Buddhism, whatever it may be. Hold on to some type of faith, because faith is what's going to pull you through it, because you can't touch everything that you want, Doc. Some things you just gotta believe that this is what's going to happen, man. And that's how I did. He has blessed me, man, utmost. And like I said, if you come home, you may not have a mom or a dad, but if you're doing the right thing, you can build your own support network where people will assist you. As long as people see you doing good, people don't mind helping you, Doc. And I ran into that my whole life. I'm still running into it. As long as you're doing good, that good karma will come back to you, Doc.
You're willing to do right, people are willing to help you.
That's it.
If you want to do wrong, you ain't gonna get no help.
And let me say this real quick, Doc. You got to give back to the people that you ran over. You got to give back to the community. You got to do it, whether it's coaching baseball or whatever, but you got to be right in order to teach these kids how to do right. Because they looking at you when you don't even know they're looking at you.
I remember meeting his brother Algernon in Quentin, and he said he gonna make up for all the damage that he's done. I clearly remember him saying that, and I thought that was a wonderful thing. Dr. Daniels, you are a completely different person for a lot of reasons, but your growth, and I'll say this has just been amazing. But you know, you what's the secret sauce for you?
Hey, Doc, thank you for asking. It's a pleasure. I gotta acknowledge the queen here, Lady Estelle. I see you. And to Youngin, man, big shout out to you. Doc, I'm gonna keep this real simple. We learned these things from our ancestors. Everywhere in Kemet, it said, know thyself. To me, the key to change has been self-awareness, brother. Learning my triggers, understanding what my motivations are, being able to anticipate and manage situations that lead to risky behavior. I thank incarceration and adversity for teaching me that. I had to get to myself and learn myself and gain some self-awareness. And that allowed me to break free from the peer pressure, some of the impoverished thinking from patriarchy and systems that don't work for me, selfish systems. So let me say this, our ancestors already had the elixir. They said, man, know thyself. That was all over Kemet. Because if you know yourself, you can't be tricked by anything that comes to and fro. So I have a deeper knowledge of myself. And I would say the other thing is personal accountability. Shout out to the queens. Shout out to Kamala, the vice president, our candidate. I don't blame her for none of the things that she done for incarceration, because I didn't get arrested for half the stuff I done. And when I went in there, I deserved everything that I got. And I don't knock the police for doing their job, because I was definitely out there doing mine. So, it's a change, man, like you said, in consciousness. It's a change in awareness. And, hey, man, it's just getting back. Our ancestors had it figured out, man. It's just getting back to my roots for me.
Thank you, Red. Thank you. Dr. Daniels, I got to say, all that came after he got out. All that came after he got out. Now, he teaches at the university that I went to, and I want to tell you, I go up and I speak in his classes. You know how that make me feel? Travis, what's the secret sauce for you? What can you impart to people? Get out and stay out no matter what.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I thank God for the mother that I had. Because when I got out, she helped me get my first business, which was a janitorial service. My mother was an entrepreneur. So, you know what I'm saying? She always told us, you never have to work for no one. You know what I'm saying? If you don't like taking orders from no one, then you go build your own. So that's what I did. I never worked for anyone in my life, though. I've always had my own businesses. So mine is, like Conrad said, a great support system. And if you don't have that, then there's people out here who will help, because I am the community. That's what I am. I help everybody in my community. Wake Up Stop the Genocide is one of my companies. Gladiator Boxing is another one. I love helping the kids. I love helping people who come out of prison, and I always give them advice. You know, I got 30 years in my business now that these doors have been open, and just staying out is something that I always said when I left prison. I told the homies, you ever want to see me again? Either come to the street or see me on TV doing something right, you know? And that's what my mother, she used to call her friends when I got out and on the news for helping the community, doing the things I was doing. I got a Peacemaker Award in 2006. And, you know,
that's beautiful, man.
It was just a dream come true, you know, because I knew when I was in prison, that wasn't me. Right. That was not me. That's my sauce of staying out, is you got the change. And everybody always talk about change. But I tell everyone, you can never change anything about yourself until you first identify what it is that you want to change. Yeah. And once you identify what you want to change, that's when change happens right there. That's the first step. So that's mine.
Thank you. Jason.
Yo, what's up, Doc? Mine was basically, I'm gonna give success. I'm gonna give you an abbreviated version. I could go extensive, but first off, you got to shape the loved ones, the homies, the friends, the so-called friends, and the family that's in the shits. Because being with them will get you violated. That's first off. Number two, you can't hang in the block. You can't hang in the hood. There's been a few times I hung for 10 minutes, and I just thank God it was some real police that didn't take everybody down for somebody having a gun on them, because I could have been violated. They just took the person holding the gun. You know what I'm saying? So can't hang with, you gotta change your surroundings. You can't hang with them family members and homeboys that's in the shit still. Can't hang on the block. Number three, the most important thing was a support group. I now realize it's called mental health, but a Mega Boys Club. I went to a Mega Boys Club the second week I got out. I was there for 2 years before I even went off to do the little state university program I went through for y'all. So you need that support group. So stay away from the cats that's in the shit. Stay away from the hood. Get your support group. And the fourth one, I couldn't even hang with my peoples no more. So I was going out with a Mega Boys Club people. I was going out with Zach D, Fresh Cole, Omar, Andre, a couple of the sisters from Omega. So I had to really, I had to change my whole get down, because I had what you call 1035 red, and that meant I was high risk for some reason. I don't know how I got there. I was 1035 red, which means approach for caution, a call for backup. I had a bullet, which means my violation was straight 365 days. There was no 9 months, 3 months, 30 days, nothing halftime for me. So I changed all my friends and stuff. Basically, see my peoples, keep it pushing. I was fortunate that before I went, a brother in 92, your sense, Hassan Samuel to visit Daryl, knew me as a kid, saw I was a businessman because I was getting money, made me a partner in 92. So when I got out in October of 96, I had a business to run. So that was a blessing. I had a shop. So really my network was keep good people around me. I had a business to run, Omega Boys Club, and I had to shake the hood. And I had to do straight 336 months. I had no violations, nothing. They made me do the whole 36 months straight. And also for those who getting out, keep up with your paperwork. My PO at first, when I found out I was 1035 red and I had a bullet, they was the squad to send you back. Robles and Hagee, they was gonna catch you and get you back. That was their mission. After that, I became their boss's guy. After about 6 months, I was just sending monthly forms in. So this guy told me, give him a year. I made some mistakes. A year came by. They said the narcs called, so I was running around with a gun over a bad drug deal. I'm in here for guns. I'm in here for dope. I took that one to chin, and then I shut down everything. I was dibbling dabbling still. After that, I was done. 2-year mark, I go down to my 25th month. You say, give me 2 years, I get you off. I didn't wait till my 6-month form. I went down there on my 25th month to go say, hey, what's the odds of me getting off? Do you know these MS tell me my parole officer ain't been down there for 3 months. He over in Daly City now. So as you might not know, Doc, but they all know, at that point on 12th Street in San Francisco, I was what you call outscounded. Basically, they're going to make it seem like they ain't heard from me in 90 days. If I didn't go down there on my 25th month to find out what my odds of getting off, they would have been like, we ain't seen you. I said, oh, after that, I was scared man walking my last year. I went to school. Y'all got me a state. I had to fill up my time because I said, they trying to send me back. Ain't no way you got me out here and not let me know who my new parole officer is for 3 months. So basically change your environment, change your friends, keep get some good people around you, and keep up with your paperwork, because then people will find any reason to send you back, man. So that's my abbreviated version. But yeah, you know, that worked for me. When I 36 months, I had an off parole party. Hate to say, Forte Album at the time was off parole and he went back to jail because he's gonna perform my party. But I had an off parole party after 36 months.
What does Coach say? What works, works. What don't work, don't work. Everything you saying has worked. Beto, your secret sauce.
I don't think there was no real secret sauce. It was just I knew I guess I'm the only. I thought for some reason I was thinking that everybody on this show was going to be old lifers that had just got out. I guess I'm the only one that did a big chunk of time straight, and I've only been out 5 years, so we're still figuring out the recipe. I think the one thing everybody said something that everybody that I heard so far said something. I took an element of something that everybody said so far. Kind of like how Conrad said, I had the mindset. This is it. I'm not doing this no more. I'm good. I don't want to come back. I gave my life. I was like Travis. I gave my life to my neighborhood. I was banging. I thought that was it. I thought that was the ultimate. So I gave my life to that. And then when I got to prison and they didn't give their life for me, it's like, okay, I'm good. So when when the switch finally tripped and I was like, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. I put it in my mind that I'm going to do whatever I have to do to get out. When I did get out, touch on what Harold said, he had a support system. They didn't even let his feet touch the ground. They took him straight to a function to show that he was loved and he was supported. And I think that's probably the most that anybody getting out can if someone's listening that has someone that's getting out of prison, especially someone that's been in prison for a long time, if you can find someone, if you can love them and show them that they are loved, that they have not been forgotten about, that they are cared for, that will help them, because it is. I know in prison we got this thing, you say I statement. So let me say for me, I know for me, when I was locked up for a long, long time, I felt like nobody cared. Nobody loved me. I was worthless. I was nothing. So I acted like I was nothing. And that prolonged my time in prison. So when I got out, I got allowed, God blessed me, because you met my girlfriend at the picnic, and she was the anchor to me. She kept me like, hey, look, you got to do this, and this. And so if anybody's listening that has family, just show them that they've been loved. Just give them grace, because we're gonna, and again, like everybody else said, we're gonna, forgive my language, but we're gonna fuck up, and we're gonna fuck up bad. But you got to give us grace, because we're trying to do the best that we can. And at some point in time, it is going to click, and it is going to be like, ooh, wait a minute. I can't keep doing this like I'm doing, and I'm going to get it right. But just, what's that Johnny McClurkin song?
We fall down, but we
We
get up.
fall down, but we get up. I had to tell my girl that the other day. I fell down. I'm a sinner. I fell down, but I'm trying to get back up. So I want to be that saint that I was for you once before.
So here's what we're going to do. All of us here, we're going to adopt Theto, okay? And we're going to help his butt. No, it ain't just me. You already latched on to me. They done all latched on to me.
Right.
Okay? Right? We know.
This is a brotherhood. Anybody that's coming out of prison is a brotherhood. We have to help each other. We have to help each other.
That's why you see all these brothers here. That's what we gonna do.
Yes,
we ain't gonna do. We gonna do because we know you gonna get weak. We all been weak at some time, right? See, we also know you're only one bad decision away. We know that too, right? So it's
been close. Oh, I
know you gonna get the love. Okay, you gonna get the support, but then you gonna have to do exactly what, because the roadmap has been shown, because they've done it. You got a professor here, you got all these businessmen here. Conrad's so high up in the city, I can't even talk to him no more. I can't find him no more. What happened to my brother? You got Khalid, real quick, your secret sauce.
And my secret sauce is that, I was blessed to have some good people. I developed a character to go on to the streets, and I stayed in that character. I couldn't get out of it. And that character took me all through prison and all other types of stuff. But I was blessed to have good people. My mother taught me about being ashamed of yourself. And I don't know people my age, if your parents ever told you, you should feel ashamed of yourself. And to be honest, I looked and seen my mother in there in court, traveling all down to LA's different prisons, and I'm dragging them all through that. So from having a mother, brothers and sisters up under me, and having a little children, it changed me as a man. But I knew I was better than that. When it clicked, like one of the brothers said, everything that you guys said, I wanted to say. But this is just some more stuff. It clicked into my mind that I said, I'm gonna be never again is somebody gonna control whether I go use the bathroom if I want to, whether I go drink some water, whether I go outside. Nobody is going to be in control over me, and I'm an adult, and my mind work and everything good. So you got to stay away from your risk factors, because if you stay around people that's could put you at risk, you're gonna start developing their symptoms. So if they're rapists, you're gonna start raping. If they smoke weed, you're gonna start smoking weed. If they violent, you're gonna be violent. So you got because you can catch this disease like a common cold, man, and it transfers the infection. The hood virus, it transfers from person to person. So you got to, like you guys said, you got to stay away, young man, young lady. You got to stay away from people that put you at risk. And a friend would never lead you to any type of danger. So if they talking about you crashing out, risking your life right then and there, I don't care if it's your family member, blood relative, that is somebody that you have to stay away from. And you got to know that in your heart, you are worth the best. You are worth something. There's nothing more valuable than a human life. You are worth it. So I can go on and on, but if I could just say one word, you are worth it. You're worth it.
I wanted to do this to demonstrate to everybody that you can get out and stay out. You can beat this. As I always say, my guy, my hero on the wall came through from the joint. He was Satan in prison, but he's Saint Malcolm to me. And that's why I go in there, because I know there's a Malcolm in there, right? And but Malcolm let somebody guide him. He followed the guidance. He became a different person. My movie guy, who's my movie guy? OG Bobby Johnson. Oh. I love that movie. Oh, Bobby, like, yeah, I'm through with that. I'm through with that. And I always say one person can do a lot of damage and one person can do a lot of good. And the good all of you have been doing, has just been remarkable, because you are now good yourself. You are now good yourself. And so I don't have to worry about you. I always say I want to be around people I ain't got to worry about. I ain't got to
Dr.
worry about.
Marshall,
Yes.
what about Michael?
Michael spoke during the call, Mrs. Still, earlier. But if he's got
I
something,
mean, did he have anything for this part?
well,
I-
Mike, I know you've been listening. So
I just, just if he's covered, okay. Otherwise,
I want to say something because you got it in the first hour. So Mike, I haven't meant to neglect you, but I know you were in that first hour, and so anything you want to add before I go to Mrs. Stell, because our time is short.
Yeah. Basically, I want to give shout outs to all the fellas online who coming behind enemy lines and out here thriving free. I see y'all older than me. I appreciate y'all, for the struggles y'all went through and the advice that y'all giving out now and the communities that you are from and that you guys are working in. I would just say, I'll go more with Jason. My was watching who I hang out with. I still live in the community that I'm from, born and raised in 5 generations. I watch how I maneuver out here, how I navigate. And I bring those systems of folks that are doing positivities and that are still out here in the community. And that's what I rock with. And so those fellas that I still got love for that are getting high, are doing those things, they know I'm not dwelling in that no more, but I'm still got love and support. And if they want to rock with me, we over here teaching our history, our culture, and we also getting these jobs to these babies and these young kids, right? So I kind of like maneuver and navigate through the streets of Oakland, and I watch who I really bring into my circle nowadays. So that's what kept me out. That's what got me off probation and got out of the system is looking out for these babies and seeing those little Mikeys and all those youngsters and seeing how we can break that cycle of violence and that cycle of incarceration. So that's a little bit what I want to just add to it.
Lady, I'm gonna let you wrap it up. I just want to say it's wonderful to be in your presence. It's wonderful to be around people that I don't have to worry about. I mean, it's joy being around you guys. It's wonderful being with people that Lady E doesn't have to worry about. But Lady E, you are so patient with all of this. You say whatever you need to say to our gentleman.
Because a saint is just a sinner who falls down and gets up. Thank you, Reggie, for recognizing me. And thank you to all of you. Conrad, it's great to see you.
Yes,
Stefan, I see you all the way in the camera because I know you just chomping at the bit too. We are over time, but I've got to ask the question. But because of the time, you're not going to get to answer. But I want you to think about it. I'm going to answer it for you. My question for you is, what have you discovered about yourself? You've been out for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 15 minutes. What are you able to discover about yourself? See, that's the thing that's going to keep somebody from going in, as well as inspire and encourage them to hold on until they get out. The fact that you've discovered that you are a good person. You got to do what's on the inside, that you can listen and follow directions, that you can get on the right track and stay on it, that you do have the ability to turn around and stay around, that you can create and maintain a system of people who will surround you and support you, that you can hear, that you can pray, that you can trust, that you can wait for your change to come. That's what you've discovered. Some of the things that you've discovered about yourself, because you are here on this side. And what it took to get you on this side is what you've discovered you can do. and you keep doing it. That's the message that everybody else needs to hear. This is what I found out. This is what I can do. And guess what? If I can do it, you can do it too. So thank you for doing what you discovered. And you discovered it before you got out. You did. And when you got out, you said, I know what to do. And I'm going to keep doing it. When you get tested, when you get nervous, when you get a little weak, when you start to wonder, when you start to worry, when you start to believe and question, because the mind starts to go, remember what you did that got you out. Do that. Thito, you can do it. You're here. You can do it. You tell yourself, I can do it. I can do it. And what help you need, you know how to listen. You know how to follow directions. You know how to check on the inside. And instead of talking back, you say, all right, I'll do it. I can wait. I can be quiet. I can be still. What time is it? I can do it.
Fine.
That's what I've got to say. This is Lady Estelle saying, consider this.
Thank all of you. Thank you so much. This has been absolutely wonderful. You know, I love all of y'all. I just being with you. Look, this is what life is all about. You know, it's great. Khalid, we done had some great times. We're getting ready to send his daughter to college, y'all. So, you know, everything has just been wonderful. And this is the way it's supposed to be. I'm gonna get all of your book by Malik. You're gonna love the book. And I'll just say this final thing he wrote. I didn't get to read it, but it's he wrote an open letter of apology to the community. It's one of the most beautiful things I've ever read. And so you're going to love it. So we got to get out of here. We're going to catch up. We all family, and we all going to help Thito, right? We all going to help that brother, because you got to get out and what? Stay out and stay alive and free. We ain't going back. All right. Good night, y'all.
Good night, everyone.
Love
you. All right, peace, Doc.
You got it.
Thank you for doing